I just finished listening to this video of this woman talking about how men are homosocial. What? I never even knew that was a term. Homosocial? Then she got to explain it in the most intellectual way she possibly could. She got to explain it why men are more homosocial than women. What? Some of the stuff that people be saying and doing be seeming like something that would be out of an actual fiction book or a fictional movie. Is she really saying the stuff she's saying, bruh?
Men are so homosocial. I also believe that women can be homosocial just based off the dictionary definition of homosociality.
Homosociality? Homosociality? Imagine kicking it with the fellas and it's like, oh yeah, you know that dude Jerome over there? Oh yeah. What about Jerome? Yeah, he's a homosocial. What? What is she talking about, bruh?
But I think the history, the reasons, and the perpetuation behind homosociality across genders is entirely different. On top of that, I think that women being homosocial in a patriarchal world is more of a form of protection and survival as opposed to why men are homosocial.
Yeah, I looked up the definition of homosocial, and it's what I thought it was. It says relating to social interaction between members of the same sex, typically men. Well, the typically men part, I didn't assume that. People socialize with the same gender more than the other gender because human interaction thrives off of relatability. It ain't got nothing to do with the patriarchy and all that other type of bull crap. Relatability has everything to do with human interaction and having a successful relationship. That's why they call a relationship, because in order to have a great relationship with somebody, you have to be able to relate to them. That's why the word relate is in relationship. This is why out of all humans, people of the same age group usually tend to kick it with people of their same age group. People of the same racial background typically kick it with people of their same racial background. It's just that simple. Ain't got nothing to do with the patriarchy or nothing like that. Basketball players kick it with basketball players. Football players kick it with football players. And it's relatability, okay?
Because within a patriarchal society, male relationships are often structured in a way that reinforces and perpetuates the patriarchy. Their relationships often function as a way to maintain social dominance and male privilege, which is why women are commodities amongst men. Which is why when two men compete over one woman, the woman becomes less of a human and more of an object. She's a pawn in their game of chess as they decide who's the king.
Listen, to those type of men that you talking about, which is like highly successful, driven businessmen who have certain opportunities that all men don't typically have, everybody is a pawn in their game of chess. Everything is a means to an end. That's just how gritty and how business is, how capitalism is. What are you talking about? It ain't got nothing to do with just men and women. They treat anybody like that. When you talk about those type of men and patriarchy and all that type of stuff, man, they'll step on anybody's toes to get ahead. And to address your comment about women, that's also false. Because any man, any woman, the problem with women, a lot of y'all women, that frustrates me, is y'all don't want to listen to wisdom. A man only care about the woman he care about. Every other woman is just, you know what I'm saying? He don't really care about her. Men typically only care about women that are closer to them, their family members, and the one woman that they actually love for real. He's not like that with the woman he actually loves. Y'all be acting like a man doesn't have the ability to actually have a real emotions for a woman and love a woman for real. All because he don't love you don't mean he ain't gonna love her. That's your problem. Y'all be wanting to be accepted by men that don't want y'all, but y'all want them. That's the thing. Y'all want them, and y'all mad that they don't want you the way you want them, and they end up wanting another woman. That's what it's all about. Ain't got nothing to do with the patriarchy or anything like that. Pookie and Tyrone in the hood and have multiple baby mothers and things like that. What patriarchy? He's sleeping on couches and stuff. What are you talking about, bro?
A lot of men want a beautiful woman on their arm, not because they want a beautiful woman on their arm, but because they want other men to see that they have a beautiful woman on their arm.
Not saying that thought doesn't happen. That thought doesn't happen first, though. That's not the priority thought. The first thing that happens is, man, she's fine. I want her. I want to be with her because she's so beautiful. Then after you get her, you like, I want to show her to the homies. I want people to see how beautiful my woman is. It's in that order. She making it seem like the only reason a man gets with a beautiful woman has everything to do with what other men think. Niggas don't be caring about what other men think that much. He's trying to be with a beautiful woman. Bro, a beautiful woman drives a man's ambition. That's why men be getting in the gym, be looking all nice, because he want beautiful women. He want a beautiful woman to be attracted to him. That's why a man be trying to be successful as he can, so he can attract as many beautiful women as possible.
They don't necessarily care about the woman. They care about getting the approval from other men. They care about seeming dominant to other men. And that's also why emotions are so suppressed within male relationships, because the moment that one man expresses vulnerability to another man, he's no longer dominant. He's no longer king.
Bro, what is she talking about, bro? No. The only time a man wants to be king, I don't say the only time, right? But in most situations, I've been a male my whole life, and I've been a man a big portion of my life as well. I've been on different sports teams. I've had a lot of different friends who were guys and things like that. The only time that a man really typically in his friendships with other men wants to be king is when they're in a competitive sport or some type of competition, like a basketball game, one-on-one, video games, you name it, right? But in regular everyday friendships, men just really just trying to have a good time, joke around, and just have fun, to be honest. Ain't nobody thinking about being no king in those. Only in competitive situations is the man trying to be the king. And guess what? I didn't have to go to college to study this. I lived this experience as a man. Ain't no man trying to be a king all the time. If you around a dude like that, then he got an ego problem.
And this is why I think that homosociality functions different for women. Because like I said, women who engage in homosociality do it as a means of protection from a patriarchal society. When women are in strong community with one another, the patriarchy is inherently dismantled.
How could you be that pretty and that feminist at the same time? I mean, it's not like they're mutually exclusive. I hope I'm using that definition correctly. But it's just like such a beautiful woman, and she just on that bull crap, man. Dismantling the patriarchy and all that type of stuff. It's crazy. Because everything, and we know this by now, right? I've heard this argument many times, but like the majority, like I'll say almost 90% of the things that we all enjoy in this world, women too, was thought of and innovated and constructed by a man. All the benefits and all the enjoyment that you have is because a man mapped it out, you know? Inspiration from God a lot of times, you know, of course. But I'm just saying, like, women can just be so ungrateful, honestly. Like, without the patriarchy, what would this world be? What would it look like? You know, all the construction and everything. I'm not even gonna get into that whole conversation or that whole whatever. Anyway, I'm glad she shared her thoughts, but what do y'all think?